Dave Palumbo issuing a challenge right here, right now. Anytime you want, contact me. I'm an open book. Dave Palumbo here with another RxMuscle rant. Today's topic is self-proclaimed experts in the bodybuilding world. You know what? Nothing irks me more than these guys who come online and pretend that they have these deep insights into the science and mechanistic actions of performance-enhancing drugs better than anyone else in the industry, and their only true educational experience is reading Wikipedia online and walking into a pharmacy and buying anabolic steroids and maybe injecting themselves a few times. It really, really irks me because you know what? There's a lot of people out there who are earnestly looking for real knowledge. They want the science of what's going on. They want to know how to eat properly. They want to know how to take the right supplements to support the diet that they're eating. And they want to take performance-enhancing drugs in a safe, effective manner. And they want to know the science of how all this works. They don't want to know a hyped up, trumped up version of what these people think they want to hear that's going to make it sound super sensationalistic, like they have some tremendous insights above and beyond anything else that's already out there. And one of the things that really irks me that a lot of these self-proclaimed gurus put forth is that the guys who came before them, or the guys that are out there who are established people and well respected, don't know what the fuck they're talking about because they've been doing this a long time. Which is, if you think about it upon initial glance, if you've been doing it a long time, you probably have a lot of experience, and you probably not only have a lot of knowledge, but you have a lot of practical experience applying it. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years now, or pretty close to it. And that means I've been writing diets for people and myself. I've been doing supplement plans. I've been doing performance enhancing cycles for people. And I've probably worked with over 5,000 people, probably more than that. I don't count, so I don't know. But so many so that I've seen every scenario in diet, every scenario in drug use, every scenario in supplement use, that I kind of know what works now and what doesn't. Not to mention that I do have a pretty good educational background. I don't have to go out there and tout it. You know, obviously I went to 4 years of college. I have a degree in biology from Franklin and Marshall College. I went to New York Medical College, which is hard enough to get into medical school, but I did very well. I passed the first part of the medical boards. I did 3 years, and I decided it wasn't for me. It wasn't that I couldn't do it. I was one of the top guys in my class at the time. But I decided that wasn't the direction I wanted to go in. I loved bodybuilding. I loved preventative medicine. I loved telling people how to keep themselves healthy rather than treating symptoms. So I opted out of finishing medical school. It was my own decision. Because I wanted to be in this space where I am right now, which is a health provider, a health educator, a person who puts forth science so that you understand why you're doing the things that you're doing. Telling people how to diet, telling people what nutritional supplements to take are great, especially if you have a lot of experience doing it. But if you know why you're telling people to do it and you can explain to people why they're doing it, that's empowering. Because people love knowledge. When I sit down with someone and do it, I do probably, no joke, probably anywhere from 15 to 20 consults a month. You know, probably more than that. It's more like 3 to 5 a week. That's a lot. That's just phone consults with people where they're asking me questions, they're showing me their blood work. You know, I probably read 10,000 blood works over the course of the last 30 years. I've seen every variation, okay, out there. I know what a bodybuilder's blood work looks like, and I know what to be concerned about and what not to be concerned about. Okay, I also know how to read blood work because I went to medical school and they taught us how to read blood work. I know what all the markers mean. You know, and any of you self-proclaimed gurus out there that are going to try to put me down and are going to try to make it seem like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, come on my show. Let's have a friendly debate. Let's have a fun little debate. You can pick the topics. Give me the topics. You can pick the questions, or we can have a third party moderate it and give us the questions. And I have no problem debating you. I think you're going to have a big problem debating me because you don't know the science of what you're talking about. Anyone who puts down anyone out there, they're doing it for a reason, because they're trying to validate themselves. I don't put down other people who are out there putting out advice unless the advice is wrong, okay? There's a guy, Vigorous Steve. I don't know where he came from. He's from Thailand. He is a self-proclaimed guru. He doesn't have any educational background that I know of, at least none that he's willing to admit to. And his probably only experience is that he can go into a pharmacy in Thailand and buy steroids legally. So he's now a steroid guru, and he knows more than everyone else. He can go online and he can read Wikipedia and whatever, other crap that's out there. He's probably a very good TikToker too, I'm sure, because TikTok is almost like a PhD nowadays. If you can go on TikTok and have a following on TikTok, then you can put the word doctor before your name and actually be validated by that. And this guy is putting me down, saying, I don't know what I'm talking about.
A lot of these guys like Dave Palumbo, they don't really do additional research. So whatever they talk about now, that might have been valid like 20 years ago, but not anymore.
Because I'm old and because I don't have any relevance. And what I talked about 20 years ago was relevant, but it's not relevant today because we know more today. Listen, my theories and all my knowledge has evolved consistently because you know why? Because I'm in it every day. Every single day, this is what I do. But I'm not going to put forth bullshit theories, okay, and bullshit advice when I know it's bullshit, okay? Just to sound smart. And that's what these guys do out there. They want to sound like, oh, we got information that no one else had. Guess what? Anabolic steroids haven't changed for the last 60 years, okay? We know how they work. The guys in the 90s knew how they worked. The guys in the 80s knew how they worked, okay? In the 90s, GH came out. That was the new kid on the block. And probably toward the end of the 90s, early 2000s, IGF-1 came out. In the last 20 years, the only thing really new that has come out is the peptides. And that's the most exciting thing going on right now. And the next 10 to 20 years will be gene therapy. I can guarantee that. And I'll be on top of that as well because there's science behind that. And I can read a science article and I can give you guys the actual mechanisms of how these things work and explain it to you. Some people want to know, some people don't want to know or don't care. They just want to know how to use something. But it's important that you explain to people how things work because they're much more likely to follow it and feel comfortable following when they know the science of what's going on. So when I say that, Primobolan or Winstrol is not a DHT compound, it's not. It's not DHT. Okay, it's a 5-alpha reduced compound that looks like DHT, okay? But if anyone knows anything about Winstrol and Primobolan, they've reduced the androgenic or masculinizing component. Masculinizing component is the stuff that, makes hair grow in your face as a man, makes your penis grow when you're a little kid, makes your hair, your jaw square off on your face, makes your voice deep, okay? It makes your hair fall out on your head when you get older. Okay, that androgenic component is reduced in these steroids, and it has a much higher anabolic or muscle building component. So you get less side effects when you take these drugs, okay? If you take a drug like testosterone or Anadrol, a Dianabol, these drugs convert directly to DHT, dihydrotestosterone, which is the most severe on the hairline. And that's why they cause the most hair loss. That's just simple science. There's no debate there about that, okay? So when I say that I took Primobolan and Winstrol for my very first cycle, I was 24 years old, 23 years old, whatever I was at the time. I got no side effects and I got no shutdown. I did 8-10 weeks of that. I went off of it. My testosterone turned itself back on, no problem. I don't even know if it was even turned off from those drugs. They're not very suppressive because they don't convert to estrogen. And estrogen is what shuts down the pituitary. We know that because when estrogen binds to the receptors in the hypothalamus of the brain, the hypothalamus stops producing gonadotropic releasing hormone, which then cannot stimulate the pituitary to release LH and FSH, which then can't stimulate the testicles to produce testosterone. It's all estrogen related. Estrogen shuts down pituitary and hypothalamic function, which ultimately shuts down testicular function. That's a certainty. You want to come on here and debate me about that? Let's debate. Okay? DHT, we know, can cause hair loss. That's why taking finasteride or dutasteride really helps the hairline for a lot of people, especially people who are high DHT converters. That's for certain. Does Primobolan bind to DHT receptors and Winstrol? No, it doesn't, because it's not a DHT compound. It's just a 5-alpha reduced compound, chemically speaking. Can it cause some hair loss? I'm sure in people who are super, super sensitive to hair loss genetically, of course, anything can cause hair loss in people. Looking at a bottle of DHT can cause hair loss for some guys I know. I never lost a hair on my head till I was 30. I was taking anabolics, all kinds. And then one day, all of a sudden, I started thinning. That's just the way, that's called genetics. And that's why there's bodybuilders out there that have no hair loss. And they take everything under the sink. They're just not sensitive to DHT. That's their genetic gift, I guess. It's a gift if you like hair, I guess. I would consider it a gift. I wish I had some of the heads of hairs that I've seen out there on bodybuilders that haven't lost it. But having said that, let's take my, another thing Vigorous Steve said about me is, his PCT and fertility protocol is bullshit.
That PCT protocol and that fertility protocol of his, that's fucking horseshit. Fucking horseshit.
Oh, really, Steve? Guess what? You want me to give you the thousands of people that have gotten their wives pregnant using that protocol? People come up to me at shows and show me their children that they had when they couldn't get pregnant going to a fertility clinic, but Dave's protocol worked. Why? Because there's science behind it. You want to come on the show and debate me? Let's go. Let's go. Let's debate the science here. You tell me why it doesn't work, and I'll tell you why it does, and I'll show you the people that it worked for. I love the debate. You guys want to challenge me? Come on, let's go. Let's debate. Let's debate science. We'll see what your internet education does for you when you come on the show and you debate me on the science of what we're talking about. I have no problem. We could talk nutrition, we could talk supplements, we could talk drugs. You pick the topics. Come on the show. Anytime, any place. You know what? These internet guys, you know what they are? They're bullies. They're internet bullies who try to make a reputation for themselves. They try to sound cool. Hey, yeah, I'm the new guy on the block here. You know what? If you're going to throw shit around like that, you do that in the street, you better be able to put your hands up and throw some hands. When you do that on the internet, you better come on and be able to debate that shit. Let's hear what you got to say. You're so smart. I'm so irrelevant. Come on, let's go. It'll be fun, I promise you. Dave Palumbo issuing a challenge right here, right now. Anytime you want, contact me. I'm an open book.